A wrongful death lawsuit has been filed against a Chatham, Illinois after-school program where a woman drove into the building, killing 4 students, 1 teenage counselor, and severely injuring several others. This suit alleges the building Why Not Camp was built in violation of safety codes at the time of construction. It claims when it was built in 2012, safety regulations prohibited youth camp facilities from being located 100 feet off a highway. However, Why Not was constructed less than 100 feet off of the county highway. It also alleges that Why Not failed to make proper structural changes and improvements to the building.
This was not the fault of one driver, of one person, but there were other entities, other people involved that had a duty under the law to exercise ordinary care to the people that came into that facility.
The lawsuit is filed on behalf of the 5 decedents and 4 surviving children who suffered physical injuries and emotional trauma as a result of that incident in April of last year.